Today on CityCast Madison. We made it! We're here! We're ringing in the new year! We are in the new year according to the Gregorian calendar, that is. Nonetheless, congratulations and cheers to new beginnings. And speaking of marking events and calendars, there are some pretty exciting happenings in our hamlet this month. Things we think you might want to know. Hayley Sperling, our fabulous newsletter editor, and I pulled together our top January events. Places you might catch us out in these streets across the month. So buckle up and get ready. It's Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024. I'm Bianca Martin, and here's what Madison's talking about. All right. January all day. We've got some events to share with y'all that we've pulled together. Who wants to go first? Haley.
Okay, I can go first. I'll go first.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty. So, January, it's cold in Madison. It's been cold for a very long time, and who knows if we're going to get a bunch of snow this year or not. Probably not, but you're probably looking for a place to run away and get kind of cozy. And so in lieu of an actual event, I would like to pitch a place for you to go to, which would be to take a little escape to the Bulls Conservatory at the Ulbrich Garden, which is kind of like this hidden little spot. It's more of like an if you know, you know, and now you all know. So I'm letting you in on this big secret because you basically can visit a tropical paradise in the middle of winter. The Ulbrich Garden Bulls Conservatory is essentially this like big glass pyramid that's filled with exotic plants and bright flowers, and there's some free-flying birds in there. It's not necessarily like cozy in the typical sense of the word, but you know, it's really something if you're trying to get out of that like deep winter stagnance mindset. I think it would be such a lovely time to have a little refresh in there.
Oh my God, that is such a good suggestion. By the way, you guys, we don't know each other's suggestions, so we're hearing them live. And there is nothing better than in the dead of winter than going in a friggin' conservatory. Every city I've lived, I'm like, I need some life. I need to go and bathe in oxygen and warmth.
It is. It's life. It's living. It's green because it gets just, especially, you know, if we don't get a lot of snow in the winter, like, It makes me the most sad when it's just like bitterly cold and there's no snow outside. You know, for some reason, like at least when the streets are blanketed with white snowflakes, like it makes me feel a little bit better about things. But when it's just gray and dark and cold and windy, it's always the wind, isn't it? You know, it's that Midwestern thing of it wouldn't be so bad if it's not that windy. But guess what? It's always windy. We live on an isthmus. But the conservatory, it's a little break from that, you know, right? Like I put together a little roundup of some of Madison's coziest places for the newsletter. And this was one of them that I put on there. So I really wanted to give it a little shout out. I've got some more cozy place ideas too, but you can also find my whole list at madison.citycast.fm.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This is such a good recommendation. Also, don't they like sometimes have events in there? Like,
yeah,
little party times. I've been in there and I've like a dance party and it's like this living my best life in the winter.
They do. They have like the gardens will host like cocktails in the conservatory, and I haven't seen January events out for that yet, but yeah, they host events in there and it's like super fun and super cute, and of course, you know, like it's all a fundraiser for the gardens, which like you can't get mad about that, you know? Like I'd buy a couple extra drink tickets, write it off as a tax donation, right? That's girl math.
That's girl math. Also girl math. I went to one, just FYI. Some of these get really popular. There was a crazy line, like an hour line in the building.
Really?
Yeah, because it was so popular. So Definitely plan ahead if there is some sort of event in there. But then, like you said, like just going in there for your own, you don't need an event for that to be like a beautiful, beautiful thing to do this month. I will be taking that. Speaking of events, I've got one that is kind of my main recommendation I'm bringing for January, which is the Wisconsin Drag Awards 2024 at Five Nightclub. Go off. It's being billed as an unforgettable night of glitz, glamour, and fierce performances. Considering all of the shows I've been to there, that is absolutely correct. I'm sure that's exactly what it will be. It's on Sunday, January 14th, and it's a moment to give flowers to the performers and contributors to Wisconsin's drag scene, which is rich. It's a sponsored event. There's no cover charge. You can reserve tables in advance. Tables for 4 people are on sale for like $25 if you email Bianca Lynn Breeze Productions. But I just want to talk a little bit about what's on deck there. Like the night's going to kick off with a red carpet reception. So you can pose for photos and like make a grand entrance. Kick off the evening with their like a professional photographer. I love that because there's also a dress code. Prepare to slay.
Yes.
Yes. Fabulous attire, glitzy gowns, avant-garde outfits, bold and daring looks. So come correct. And then there's going to be an award ceremony. So witnessing the crowning of this year's drag royalty. Crown it. Best
queens.
Drag queen. Queens.
Literally. Literal queens everywhere. And one will reign supreme.
And one will reign supreme. They'll also name Best Drag King, Best Rising Star, Best Community Partner. It's going to be really fun. It'll be, as, noted, performances. So like lip sync battles and dance numbers, of course. And then there's going to be like a DJ and dance floor happening. So really pretty much full around fun.
I love that so much, especially because I actually just went to my first drag show at Five Nightclub, and it was so fun. I went for a friend's birthday party, and we actually ended up going to 2 drag shows because we did not realize this was all of our first times there. So like, you can be a newbie. It's okay. I'm right there with you. We ended up there for 2 shows because the show that we went to originally was the family friendly version, which we did not really realize. But it was
nice.
Honestly, I'm so glad that we were there for it because like, there was so much like literal youth in the crowd. Like there were like 6-year-olds at this drag show, and I was like, I'm so here for this. And of course, like, it's at a bar, so like, there are of course those vibes, but like still, it was a very welcoming and like loving sort of environment, and like the performances were age appropriate, of course. It was funny to see the differences between like the 7 p.m. friendly, like family friendly show, and then the 9 p.m. like, all right, Madison, let's get a little raunchy show. And they were both great, and all of the performers are amazing. Five is a super fun space. Again, that was like the first time I had been out there in the 10 years that I've lived in Madison, which I'm a little ashamed to say.
Well, it's a little bit on the outskirts, right?
It's out there, right? It's on the west side. So like you do have to like make a plan to get there, of course, like we found Ubers and like got designated drivers and stuff like that. So like make sure you're being safe if you go out. But like it's a wonderful spot.
Yeah.
All of the queens were great. We got some really great bathroom selfies with some of the queens, which if you know me, I do love bathroom selfies. That's my claim to fame.
The bathroom in gay clubs is where it's at. We're calling for this event. We're calling for all the queers and also all of the allies. I just want to note, it wasn't that long ago where basically drag bars and gay bars, it's on the outskirts of the town for a reason. They were not accepted in mainstream culture. And so that's why it's like off the belt line. And I just bring that up because I feel like not only will this be a divine event to give flowers to people who are incredible artists that spend like hundreds of dollars on their outfits, and they are bringing all of the time. Also, I feel like really good about coming and celebrating and promoting drag as an art form right now, especially to almost as an act of political expression, just affirming everyone's right to exist and be celebrated for who you are, no matter what you like or what you look like or who you're attracted to. And like, it's just a good old time all around. Like, it's going to be amazing.
100%. And like I said, it's such a good energy there. And it's such a welcoming space. And the bartenders are amazing. The drinks are strong. So pace yourself. That's all I'll say on that matter. Well, I have another. It's not a drag award show or anything as fancy as that, but it is a festival happening in January. So the Wisconsin Fests, essentially. Have you ever heard of this, Bianca? It started in 2013, basically as a way to like showcase like local music acts and whatnot, because wintertime, if like you're familiar with the music industry, like it's kind of the slow season, right? Like people aren't really touring as much. You get the big summer festivals and like more of that back to school, right? Like you're not getting huge names touring necessarily in like January, February, March. So to make up for those lack of shows, Frank Productions, now Live Nation, puts on Wisconsin Fest, which again, it's showcasing like a lot of local, and there are a few national acts that come through, and it's 5 nights and 8 genres across 3 Madison venues. So there'll be festivals at the Sylvie, at the Majestic, at the High Noon. And there are multiple different days. So it's like kind of just like choose your own adventure, Are you feeling bluegrass? Like that's definitely the biggest one, which I'm kind of surprised about, which was it's scheduled for January 13th.
I love bluegrass. I'm one of them.
Apparently a lot of Madison does. You're not alone. Like this is the Wisconsin Bluegrass Festival will be at the Sylvie January 13th. Like, one of our biggest venues in town. I will say like this festival is also bringing a national act with them. So Horseshoes and Hand Grenades will also be there. So it's kind of like a bigger draw in that situation too. So that one's happening at the Sylvie, but there's also Punk and Metal Fest happening at High Noon. And then at the Majestic, there's Blues Fest, Funk Fest with an F, Jazz Fest, and Pop Fest. So like truly something for everyone. Like if you are feeling deep in the doldrums of January and just want to like get out and dance, like there is a festival for you, and maybe you'll find a new band that you like, like maybe you'll make some new friends out and about. Yeah, all of these shows, like they're all, like I said, featuring a lot of like local acts. At the Pop Fest, which is at the Majestic, Cat and the Hurricane will be there, which is super cool. At the Metal Fest, it's like Soul Killer, Droids Attack. This one's at High Noon on January 6th. It's something for everyone. Again, like there's all of these cool festivals. And I think it's a nice way to fill these gaps of a lack of touring shows and whatnot, so people can still get music.
It's true. I just adore, that's part of like a winter show, like a winter concert music, dancing and being close to everyone is like, we're all together. We're okay. We're going to make it through the winter.
It's fun. It's a way to like share community and whatnot. It's a good time. It's a good time. I would be remiss if I also did not mention that Beer and Cheese Fest is happening in January.
There's a festival for that. It's not just like an everyday.
Oh my God, I mean, it's a lifestyle, that, but like it is a festival. The Beer and Cheese Fest is back for its 14th year in 2024. So like, yeah, we've been doing this for a long time. And it's Saturday, January 24th. You can come hang out with brewers and cheesemakers from around the state and just have a good time doing all the things that Wisconsinites do, which is beer and cheese. This is a 21 plus event, of course, because most of the draw is beer and cheese. And it's at the Alliant Energy Center. So it's not too far away. I think they do have like specials for like designated drivers, and they do offer like rideshare accommodations as well. So yeah, Beer and Cheese Fest back for the 14th year, but also when was Wisconsin founded? 1848. Like we've been doing Beer and Cheese Fest since day one.
Since day one. It's been on the roster. It stays on the roster. This is the tried and true festival target to get it all at once and wear a shirt or something, wear a hat.
Yes.
That sounds, of course, delicious. And it's like, these are a few of my favorite things. Beer and cheese. I would like to bring up a few of my favorite things that are all coming together in one this month. And it's kicking off this Saturday, January 6th. The Flix Brewhouse Madison is doing a space month.
Ooh.
So a movie month dedicated to space-themed things. And they are kicking it off with my favorite movie of all time, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Wow.
Stanley Kubrick. Big Daddy right through the gates.
We have a film critic in the house, everyone. She loves films.
I love
She's not here for the
films.
movies.
Yes.
She's here for the film. It's cinema.
Such a good movie. So I'm definitely here for movies and films, but this film is stunning, breathtaking. Like you've heard, I'm sure if you follow film stuff at all, you've heard, that A Space Odyssey is brilliant. It was a real big moment in cinematic history. And, it's just a friggin' thing to see in the theater. Like I saw it when I was at UW on the big screen, and I just walked out a different person. I'm like questioning my life. It's like about space and artificial intelligence and the destiny of humanity.
Yes. That's a movie that like I would spring for the big screen, right? Because the first time, this is like I have tried to watch 2001: A Space Odyssey, and I have failed a couple of times because the first time I tried to do it, I was watching it on an airplane, which is like the opposite of like what you need for this film. So I would love to try it again in an actual movie theater.
Yes, actually. And I actually just was on a plane and watching it without earbuds. As I was like, I know it. And it just like the person next to me is like, this person is out of their mind. Like there's like apes. Like I'm like, I just enjoy this. But hey, they've got, a full month of movies. They got Moonstruck with, everyone's favorite Cher,
Yes.
Spaceballs, Barbarella, Rocketman, E.T., Galaxy Quest, Interstellar,
Love
which
it.
I saw 3 times in the theaters. Space movies are meant for the theaters. So thank you to Flix Brewhouse Madison for, bringing us what we need, some out of this world screenings.
Oh my God. Did you really say Galaxy Quest? Because I
Yes.
just watched that movie for the first time like last week. Oh my God. I'm in such a
Yes.
Tony Shalhoub phase right now. I love that man. Also Sigourney Weaver, the Queen of Space. Wow. Okay. Sounds like I'm going to Flix Brewhouse.
Yep. We should get a crew together. So that's my next recommendation is checking out the space themed month.
I love it. Okay. Well, if we have time for one more,
Yes.
I will share one more.
Okay, cool.
And it's one that like you can't miss it, but I always miss it. And it is Winter Restaurant Week, which is January 21st through the 26th. And it's if you're not familiar with Restaurant Week, it's hosted by Madison Magazine, and essentially all the participating restaurants offer 3-course meals that start at like $30. And so like they get all of these restaurants together. There's a bunch that are just across town, like Amara, Brunch Club, Beef Butter Barbecue, Buck and Honey's, Vino, Heritage, like the list goes on and on. All of these restaurants have put together like specific restaurant week menus that are kind of just like a sampling of what they have and at affordable prices. And a hot tip for Restaurant Week, not all of the restaurants do this, but if you can find one with lunch specials, That's, to me, the best way to do restaurant week because it is extra cheap. Like normally like some of these lunch specials are like $20, you know? And like the food is always amazing. And they're like, again, it's like these 3-course preparations. It's really fun, you know, lunch or dinner. You know, it's fun to go out and feel a little bit fancy. So again, Restaurant Week is happening January 21st through the 26th.
Wow, I feel so happy to be alive. I'm like, we got all these things to look forward to.
Right. It's a new year. We've got some new things going on. I'm excited, right? We started off like cold and sad, and now I'm about to like fly to space and have a great dinner.
Yeah, and hang in the jungle.
Yes.
Well, Hayley Sperling, our newsletter editor extraordinaire, thank you for...
Extraordinaire.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining me and bringing some amazing January events.
Thank you, as always, for having me. Can't wait to get our squad together to go to 5 Nightclub and then go see 2001 Space Odyssey.
Yes, shine like a star. Range.
It's all about range.
It's all about range. That's all for today here on CityCast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin. If you enjoyed the show, why not share this episode with the biggest Trekkie or Trekkie adjacent person you know. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more stories from around the city. Until then, sashay away.